Andrew Carnegie's story is a classic American tale. He began life as a poor immigrant from Scotland. Carnegie arrived in the United States in 1848. He was only 13 years old. The Carnegie family settled in Allegheny, Pennsylvania. Carnegie's first job was in a cotton mill. He earned $1.20 per week. He was eager to learn and improve his life. He took a job as a telegraph messenger boy. This exposed him to the world of business and communication. Carnegie's intelligence and work ethic did not go unnoticed. He quickly rose through the ranks. He became a telegraph operator. Then he worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad. He learned about management and investment. He saved his money carefully. He made shrewd investments. By the 1860s, Carnegie was a successful businessman in his own right. He had interests in railroads, bridges, and oil. However, he saw an even greater opportunity on the horizon: steel. The Industrial Revolution was transforming America. The demand for steel was skyrocketing. Steel was needed for railroads, bridges, and buildings. Carnegie recognized this opportunity. At the time, iron was the primary metal used in construction. However, steel was stronger and more versatile. The problem was that steel was expensive and difficult to produce on a large scale. Carnegie traveled to England. He learned about a new process for making steel. It was called the Bessemer process. This process made it possible to produce large quantities of steel at a lower cost. Carnegie was convinced that steel was the future. He returned to the United States. He decided to invest heavily in steel production. He used his profits from other ventures to build his first steel mill. In 1875, Carnegie built his first steel mill. It was near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He named it the Edgar Thomson Steel Works. This was the beginning of Carnegie Steel Company. Carnegie was a shrewd businessman. He also understood the importance of innovation. He hired the best engineers and managers. He constantly sought ways to improve efficiency. He wanted to lower costs. Carnegie's company adopted the Bessemer process. He also invested in other new technologies. This gave him a competitive edge. He could produce high-quality steel at lower prices than his competitors. He quickly gained a reputation for producing reliable steel. Carnegie expanded his business rapidly. He acquired other steel mills. He bought iron ore mines. He purchased coal fields. He took control of railroads and shipping lines. Carnegie wanted to control every aspect of steel production. This is called vertical integration. This gave him even greater control over costs and quality. It made him the dominant force in the American steel industry. Gap 3. The steel backbone of a nation: railroads, bridges, and skyscrapers. Carnegie Steel played a pivotal role in the growth of the United States. The company's steel helped build the nation's infrastructure. It connected the country and fueled economic expansion. Railroads were one of the biggest customers for Carnegie Steel. Steel rails were more durable than iron rails. They could carry heavier loads. They helped expand the railroad network across the nation. The railroads transported goods and people. This connected markets and spurred industrial growth. Carnegie Steel also supplied the steel for bridges. These bridges spanned rivers and valleys. The Brooklyn Bridge, completed in 1883, was a triumph of engineering. It was also a testament to the strength and durability of Carnegie Steel. The rise of skyscrapers in American cities was another testament to Carnegie Steel. Steel was the only material strong enough to support these towering structures. The Home Insurance Building in Chicago, built in 1885, was the first skyscraper to use a steel frame. It marked the beginning of a new era in architecture. Conflict and controversy. The Homestead Strike of 1892. Andrew Carnegie's success in the steel industry came at a cost. He faced criticism for his labor practices. The Homestead Strike of 1892 was a pivotal event in Carnegie's career. It cast a shadow over his legacy. The Homestead Strike took place at Carnegie's flagship steel mill in Homestead, Pennsylvania. The workers at the mill were represented by the Amalgamated Association of Iron and Steel Workers. This was one of the most powerful unions at the time. The union wanted to negotiate a new contract with Carnegie Steel. They demanded higher wages and better working conditions. Carnegie was determined to break the union. He believed that the union was interfering with his right to manage his business. Carnegie put Henry Clay Frick in charge of the Homestead Mill. Frick was known for his anti-union stance. He locked out the workers and hired 300 Pinkerton detectives to protect the mill. The arrival of the Pinkertons sparked a violent confrontation. The workers fought back. They exchanged gunfire with the Pinkertons. Several workers in Pinkertons were killed. The Homestead strike dragged on for months. It ended in defeat for the Union. The workers were forced to accept Carnegie's terms. The Homestead strike was a major setback for the labor movement. It solidified Carnegie's reputation as a ruthless businessman. A legacy of steel and philanthropy, Carnegie's enduring impact. Despite the controversy surrounding his labor practices, Andrew Carnegie left an indelible mark on American history. He sold his company, Carnegie Steel, to J.P. Morgan in 1901. Morgan paid $480 million for the company. This was an astronomical sum at the time. The sale made Carnegie one of the richest men in the world. Carnegie believed that with great wealth came great responsibility. He devoted the rest of his life to philanthropy. He gave away more than $350 million to various charities. He believed in giving back to society. Carnegie's philanthropy focused on education and world peace. He funded the construction of over 2,500 libraries worldwide. He established the Carnegie Institute of Technology, which later became Carnegie Mellon University. He also created the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. He hoped to promote understanding between nations. Andrew Carnegie's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He was a brilliant industrialist. He revolutionized the steel industry. He helped build modern America. However, he was also a controversial figure. His labor practices were often criticized. In the end, Carnegie's story is a reminder that progress and its associated costs are often intertwined. Like and subscribe to emgotv1 for more stories.